Well, good morning and welcome to the Mayor's Weekly. This morning I want to take a few minutes and provide you some updates on projects that we are working on here at the city. We talked about the 4-point plan numerous times here, and those projects are in motion, and I felt that we're far enough along now to give you a meaningful update. And we'll start with the Sportsplex. Just yesterday, we met with an architectural firm that will do the design work on the Sportsplex. They came to Jasper. We had a great meeting. We've been talking about the agenda and how we roll out what we're thinking about to the residents of this city, so they'll have an opportunity to share their thoughts and ideas, what we should have in that facility. They have retained a civil engineering firm that's already beginning to do some site work and deciding how you would situate the facility on the property that we have. One of the things that we did yesterday is reiterated to the architectural firm that whatever they design, whatever they bring to us has to fit within our budget. They know how much money we have to spend, and we said, you know, if you bring us something outside of that, then we're wasting each other's time. And so I think that everybody went away with that understanding. There will be several meetings over across September, October, and early November. I told the architectural firm that I would like for us to be in a position to begin construction on the Sportsplex right after the 1st of 2023, and they said that is doable. One thing that favors us there is the property where the Sportsplex will be located is high ground, and generally that time of year you have some wet weather, but that shouldn't hamper our progress there. So very pleased. The architectural firm has been very good, should I say, to work with, and I think their approach to bringing this together, making sure that we have input from the street and that the design will be as good as it can be based on what we know about Sportsplex today. So I think that I said it was a very good meeting, and we'll have probably a half a dozen more meetings moving toward the point where we can put the project out for bid. So that's moving along nicely. If you go to the site just off of Industrial Parkway, and probably the next few weeks you may see some timber being taken down as we plan for that. The second project is City Hall. The architectural firm on that project, they're working. They have retained their civil engineering firm. The civil engineering firm has been on site this week gathering information to assist them in the design work. One of the things that the architect's doing, they've retained a cost estimator to look at what the project may cost given what's happened with runaway inflation and labor shortages and that sort of thing. So we have a pretty good idea of what we might see when we put that project out to bid. And if for some reason it's outside our budget, then the council will make a decision. Do we wait till the things return to normal, if such a thing exists? But I'm optimistic that what we'll learn from the price or the cost estimator will allow us to move forward and bidding that project. Again, that should be underway by the first of the year, maybe even sooner, but work is going on there. Our paving project. We shared with you right here that council decided to pause after we received a bid that fell far outside the money that was reserved to do paving across the city. Our engineering firm, along with the successful bidder, when we let the bid, looking at maybe carving some things out of that bid, the things that they would probably carve out. There was a significant amount of money that was allocated to crack sealing and general sealing of our streets, and that's really not a pressing thing. We know that petroleum prices are dropping, which should really have a favorable impact on bidding the project. So what the engineering firm has recommended that we do is we take the crack sealing and the general sealing out of the scope of work and bid just milling and overlay of the streets that we identified that need such work, get a bid for that, and I'm optimistic that when we do that, that is going to allow us to move forward with the paving project. And I expect that they will have the revised bid documents in the next few weeks, and we can move forward with that. So those three projects are moving along at an acceptable pace, but I wanted to update you on those, and I encourage folks to ask questions, and because we want to answer your questions. Those projects amount to maybe $4 million, and that's a pretty big infusion in the city of Jasper, unprecedented based on my study. And as we learn more about that, we'll keep you updated. But please, if you have questions, let us hear from you, and we'll answer those questions. The last thing I want to update you on, I'd hoped that Kathy Shamlis could be with us this morning, and she ended up having a conflict. But fiscal year 2022 is some 30 days away from being over. It'll be over at September 30. What we know at this point is it's going to be a very, very good year for the operation of the city. It's going to be a good year across all points as we look back, and we know that our reserves will grow significantly. The work that goes into wrapping up a year in, you have bills that will come in after the fiscal year end. We operate the city in the month of September, so a final wrap up of the year will probably not come out until maybe early November once we get all the bills paid. But we have a pretty clear picture at this point that it's going to be another great year for the city. Touching on the national economy, there's an awful lot being written that things do not look promising in the near term. Will that materialize? I don't know, but I am pleased to tell you that we are prepared financially to weather any downturn that we may have in revenues or that sort of thing. And assuming that does not happen and we do not have to rely on our reserves to sustain us through a lean period of time, it positions us to continue to do good things for the taxpayers of this city. That's what government should be about. That's what this administration focuses on, and we're looking forward to getting the major projects that we have going taken care of. It's going to be a busy time when you think about contract administration for some $23–25 million of projects, and we're up to the task. We can handle those things, and then once those are done, then we can turn our attention to other things that we need to do in the city. So that's where we're at, and I wanted to share that information with you. And again, we encourage you to ask questions, and we'll provide answers. But I hope you have first and foremost a safe Labor Day weekend, and then a fun Labor Day weekend, and we'll look forward to being with you next week.